Thank you very much, sir. Very happy to be here. It's been a very emotional day.
Has it?
Yeah. Look at this. Look.
This is a real cool thing because I was just talking to Debbie, and the one phrase I'm not a fan of, but sometimes you just don't have another word.
Is
the word supergroup.
Oh, okay.
I don't really favor that, but you guys have your own gigs before Bad Wolves, and then you come together in a studio, and it's like you all know whatever you're doing in the band, you all know what time it is.
Oh, yeah. Well, basically, that's the nice way of saying we're old. We've been around for a while.
Your being old doesn't ever cross my mind. You crushing it like you just did in a live set.
It's all cardio. It's all.
Yeah, do you work out much or what, bro?
No, not really. I don't even. No, I'm just kidding. That's all I do. I'm like so boring. I'm in bed by 11 o'clock every night so I can go work out.
I want to talk about a song called No Masters.
Sure.
The opening riff, I don't know where it came from, but it is, you know what it does? It captures my ears immediately.
Yeah, that's one of those, it was one of the last songs that we wrote on Disobey. And John, my drummer, he plays every instrument. He went in and he was like, man, I got this idea. And I was like, oh. And it's kind of, it lives in this, and it's inspired by, classic metal, like the Metallica riffs and the Panteras and Seven Dust. And then we kind of did the Bad Wolves spin on it and kind of made it modern and incorporated it into our sound. And that's, so it's a little bit of old school, a little bit of new school, a little bit of, whatever.
I love that, and I just had to bring that up because, we all discover and listen to music in so many different ways.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, maybe my hope is that you hear Bad Wolves on the Mighty Eagle. I know that's not always the case, but
Has anybody heard Bad Wolves on the Mighty Eagle? Well, there you have it.
And I love hearing that. If you're just walking up, his name's Tommy. He works or maybe owns the band Bad Wolves.
How y'all doing? What's up, little man? He's on his dad's shoulders. The little man. Well, you cool too.
Tommy, I want to ask you about a video.
Sure.
Do you like making videos? Are videos really what? Do you like making videos?
I like the after effect. I like when it's done.
Because there's a video for Remember When. I don't know if you know about that song, but...
Yeah. That was not a fun day.
Well, because when I see that video, I'm like, dude, it is so intense. I almost feel like you're grabbing me by the ears and just shaking me after watching it. That's the vibe I get.
Yeah.
And I sort of like it, dude.
It's a true story. So, it's the song Remember When is a narrative about my life.
Yeah.
And I have a twin brother who succumbed to drug addiction and alcoholism and wound up in his addiction breaking into my home, and he almost killed me. And so the song talks about, the moral of the song really is about how in our families and when people struggle with addiction and alcoholism, our life becomes about a series of choices. That no matter what happens, no matter how bad we've had it or how good we've had it, every day that we're alive, we have an opportunity to choose who we want to be today. And so that's kind of what we did with that story, and we've gotten a lot of great feedback from people who really responded to it. So we hope that it helps you guys out, you know what I mean?
Tommy, when you say that, or you talk about that song, or you play a song like that on stage, all of us, all of them, you're making a beeline to our ears and our brain, because I think we totally pick up on that. Like bands that we know and love and respect and support, your messages ring true in songs like that and touch a lot of us. That sounds cheesy as hell. I know it does. But if you're talking about addiction...
It's not really cheesy. To me, I feel like rock music, if you look at the scope of pop culture and, rock music has been a staple and a voice of anthems that are written by the people for the people, and we're not selling bullshit. A lot of the other styles of music that have progressed over the past 30 or 40 years have become watered down garbage. They're poisoning our children's minds with shitty messages. And we're not about that. You know what I mean? And this isn't like heavy metal and rock and roll. It's not a trend. We're lifers. I've been going to shows since I was 8 years old, and I'll never stop going. That's why we're so happy when we see children in the crowd, because that they're the next generation of us, and we need to fucking protect them, and we need to show them how to live right. It becomes our responsibility. So we thank you guys very much, man. We really appreciate it.
If you guys dial into what he says, give it up right now, please. That is so true, and I love it. And that's why I like seeing real human beings on stage playing that music. I love listening to the radio, I really do. But when you guys make a song in the studio and then you come out here and just crush it, I'm like, this is what I want. If it sounds a little different than the record, bring it on, dude. Like,
yeah. We switch it up. Thanks, guys.
We talk about...
Yo, wild as fuck right now. Everybody's buck wild.
Oh, my God. Buck wild. Get it. We're talking with Tommy with Bad Wolves, from Bad Wolves. There's no way I can ask you a handful of questions without making this turn.
Okay, let's do it.
It's cool. It's cool. I'm not putting you on the spot.
That's okay.
We talk about different ways of discovering music, right?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that maybe some of your fans that heard Zombie, the Cranberries cover, which is giving me goosebumps right now because I'm sitting next to the dude that decided, this is a song we have to do. Maybe you have some new fans based on that. And if that's the entry point to Bad Wolves, bring it on, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's that?
Oh, now we're taking interviews from the
I know, now we're taking questions. Cool. The thing with Zombie is, we had recorded the song, and then Dan, who works at our label, is a family friend of Dolores, and a lot of people know the story. We sent her the song, and she loved it so much she volunteered to sing on it. And then tragically, she actually passed away the night before. She was scheduled to record in London with us, and we didn't know what to do. We were gonna throw the song, we were gonna shelf it, and we had a big meeting, and we called her family and her ex-husband, and we said, hey, if we release this music, we want to donate all the proceeds to your family and to the children. And so that's how that song wasn't supposed to be the first single off Disobey, and it just wound up being that way. And then because of the way that our community, the rock community, is, everybody put their money down and voted on this thing and turned it into this phenomenal, multi-platinum success story that gave us the opportunity to give back to this family. And it changes the narrative in the world about how people look at metalheads and rock and roll as a whole. You know what I mean? So we don't get invited to all the shiny, fancy Hollywood parties, but we don't give a fuck because that's not where we belong.
Tommy from Bad Wolves, I read maybe at the end of last year or early this year that you actually that you guys took proceeds from that song and gave it to the family, and I was just, it's not that I couldn't believe it, but that's such a solid thing to do.
Yeah, but that's what we're about. You know what I mean? Like, you talk about it or you be about it, and we had that opportunity, and we flew them to New York, and we presented them with a check for $250,000.
That's a lot of money, dude.
Well, it's the right thing to do.
I knew that in your set when you play that song, it'd be like an emotional moment. Like, I know all the words to that song. I had kind of had the original on the back burner because I'd heard it for so long, and then all of a sudden I'm like, Bad Wolves, what? And then I heard it, and I'm like, wow, your interpretation is real to your band.
Yeah.
And it has that vibe for the song, and I really like it, and I love it. That's as deep as we need to go. I want to ask you, is this a fun as hell time to be in the band Bad Wolves?
Yeah, of course. It's a great... Listen, I've been through a lot in my life. You know what I mean? I've buried a lot of people. I've lost a lot of people. I almost lost my own life. And the reality is, like, every day that I wake up, and I get an opportunity to get out of bed, my legs work, my arms work, I can breathe. It's a good day. And then everything else on top of that, that's a plus. This is a blessing. This life, this is not, a lot of people think that Bad Wolves is this overnight success story. Everyone in the band has been in bands for 20 years. And we've gone through having all different kinds of shitty jobs. And I'm 37. I ain't young. And You know, and that's important too for other people who are musicians or anyone who has a dream to do anything. You're never too old. You're never too young to start today. And I want to thank everybody for coming out today, because the reality is that there are thousands of really, really talented people who are grinding away in clubs and bars who people we don't know about. And they keep doing it because they're dedicated to this thing for life. And it's because of each and every one of you that are out there that come out and support this thing, that give us an opportunity to live this life. It's yours. This is my life that I get to live is because of you guys. And we're so fucking grateful for you. And that's the most realest shit that I could say, you know. So we thank you, you know.
There's a message there that is ringing real true to a couple thousand people around here. We've almost got 20,000 in this bitch, by the way.
Dude, it's incredible. It's incredible.
And I think the Bad Wolves had a big part of buying those tickets and selling those tickets, you know?
We'll see, man. You know, we're humble. We're just here to rock. You know, we got to play here and see you guys last year with Five Finger Death Punch and Breaking Benjamin, and you know, just to have the support of bands like Five Finger and Shinedown and Breaking Benjamin and In This Moment, and you know, all these people who see us and other bands, and like, you know, last night we played with Korn, and they came up to us and they were like, congratulations, and I was just like,
yeah,
I just shook Monkey's hand.
The
he gave me a hug.
The time is now for Bad Wolves. The time is now, right now. And I say this for every interview because I'm a fan of music. It's a ticket, a T-shirt, or a record. Buy them and support the bands that not only you hear on the radio, but you go see in concert that have lives and families.
But if you can't afford it, that's okay too, man. We don't give a fuck. We just care that you're here. That's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Can I ask one last question? I got one question, and I want to know, besides beastly biceps, bro, what is the one thing you do that you love that has nothing to do with your band or music that you do outside of it?
Besides working out?
Yes. Dirt bikes?
No. So for 6 years I was a drug and alcohol counselor in Los Angeles, California. Yeah. So I worked with a lot of people, and you know, part of the thing for me is I have family members that have obviously still suffer, and so the inability to save the people who I love, it was helped by working with strangers and helping them find the sobriety that I was given. And so that's something that I'm really passionate about, and I don't get to talk too much about it or work that much with it now, but you know, as the band gets bigger and we still move forward, we're going to continue to do that path and, you know, do more outreach and help people. You know, that's it.
This is real.
I don't know.
Like, this is real conversation. These are real people.
Yeah, it's all real.
I just met a guy, and he is now 7 years clean from doing meth.
That's amazing.
7 years. Yeah. His wife has come back to him. They may have a child. So, like, when you talk about that.
Yeah, last week I turned 10 years sober, a week ago today. Well, it's crazy.
That's incredible.
It's crazy.
And we all have our addictions, and we're normal human beings, and I think we all deserve to have a happy life, whatever that definition is. And so to hear you talking about that and living, you know, on stage and making records and songs that we listen to, that's pretty impressive. So thank you very much for your time, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much, man.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.